So this evening, I have been granted the privilege to introduce to you all a well-rounded individual. He is a man of great expertise and professional skills. He has studied at the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, where he specializes in, of course, painting. He has taken part in Young Generations exhibition and has also exhibited in the JCDC competitions finals. He has completed several short courses, such as advisory management from the University of the West Indies off campuses, assessors training from the VTDI, photo editing with Adobe Photoshop, NC Tibet, virtual instructional leadership online course under the auspices of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, the National College for Education Leadership. He has been a teacher at the Seaforth High School for the past 15 years. He serves as the JTA contact teacher for 10 years. Presently, he is the head of the Visual Arts Department at Seaforth High. With the explosion of technology, he has become a teachpreneur. I hope I got that correct, where he started the business mack1 Productions. You can also find him on YouTube demonstrating his skills at mack1 Productions. Most recently, he was the main presenter for the JTA Blue Mountain Valley Association Sip and Paint fundraising event. This individual has truly fulfilled Jimmy's famous quote, which says, "The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is a little extra." He has worked extensively to implement and enhance change. With all that has been said, I want to now invite you, my colleagues, guests, Kiwanians, to help me and welcome no other than Mr. Errol Mackenzie.
All right, so for this evening, we are going to be painting a landscape, well, seascape actually. Let me just bring it up here for you, closer to the screen so that you can see. All right.
I can manage that.
We're not professionals, you know.
Okay, so this is what we're going to be painting this evening. But let me just say that this painting that you're looking at is a 3-hour painting. So we are going to try to do a crash course, so to speak, in 1 hour. That's the time that I was given. You know that you should have. For my painting surface, I have a canvas. A regular hardboard or cartridge paper can do, since that they are beginners. And you will need a palette, something to mix your paint, and it can be if you have a plate or something like that.
Or a cup.
Or a cup.
All right.
Also, we need your paints. I have here my primary colors. And you know why you need your primary colors? Because from your primary colors, you can mix and get your different colors. All right. I also have other colors such as white. You will need white, and you will need a dark brown. All right. Make sure you have some water. I have my bucket here. Wash out the brushes. You need brushes. All right. Now, as I said, not to worry if you don't have these professional looking brush, because you're beginners and we're here to have fun, right?
Right.
You need a piece of cloth just to wipe your brush or something. All right. Now, just remember, I just want to emphasize this, that this event is for a worthy cause, right? It's a fundraising event, and please feel free to make your donation as you're led to, right? You can start from 200, 300, 400. I am asking the host can place the number in the chat which you can acquire the account information.
President Amila, can you post the account number in the chat, please?
Right, as I said before, I want this presentation to be interactive. If you have questions, you can place them in the chat. I'm just going to ask my co-host just to monitor the chats and mute or unmute if somebody have a question to ask as we go along. All right, well, so we're going to start our painting here. All right, so the first thing I am going to do, unfortunately, I don't have the camera down on my palette, so I'm just going to lift it up for you. I'm going to start by squeezing just a pea-sized amount of paints on my palette like that. So I'm going to put all the primary colors. All right, to start off with. All right, so here's my palette for now.
So you have red, blue, yellow, white, and brown.
Right. Any questions before I go, my host? Any question before I start? Anybody have any question?
No question at all. Just a bit nervous.
Nervous.
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have a question. I see you with some paint drops on your paper. What do we do? Do we do the same thing?
Yes, we just use one fork and put them on my palette.
Any specific
Yes.
color? I didn't get that at all. What are the colors?
You're referring to these? Is the person referring to these?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, well, all I do, I'll just squeeze it from my tube onto a surface that I'm going to mix them to go onto the canvas.
Okay, and we can use an instrument, maybe a fork, a knife, anything.
Right. You can use a brush to do the mixing, it doesn't matter. All right, so the first thing I want to do, we're going to start off with the sky, and then we're going to paint downwards. All right, so the first thing I want to do is just to wet my canvas a little bit. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is to allow the paint to spread a little bit faster than normal. There are different approaches to painting. Some artists normally draw first with a pencil or so. Some artists actually do block different areas of the subject matter. All right, but I'm just going to start with the paint straight on my canvas.
So for those who have a canvas, Mr. Mackenzie, do we still wet or?
Yes, if you have a cartridge paper or artboard, you can still wet it a little.
Okay, thank you. I'm wetting my cartridge paper now. Come on now, the artist is coming out in me. Come on now.
Remember that I'm trying to work within the 1 hour.
Yes.
So you have to bear with me if I'm going a little bit fast, all right?
No problem.
All right, so you want to add a little water to your blue, right? Just to, as I said, to stretch it a little bit. This type of paint, it can go a far away once you add a little water to it. All right, so right about the left-hand corner of my canvas, I'm going to start by just brushing on that pure blue.
Come on now, you're looking great. Bella, it's blue. Where I use red for? It's blue.
Blue.
It's my niece. My niece is helping me.
Okay.
It's blue, Bells. It's blue.
All right, I'm just trying to cover.
Yeah.
That's about quarter.
It's blue, Bells.
Of the canvas.
Use a blue.
So about half in the middle.
Blue, Bells.
All right. As I said, note I add water to it just to stretch it a little bit.
Yes.
All right.
All right, Bells.
I don't know which paint you're using, but this paint actually it dries fast.
Okay.
If you're using oil, you could go back and work it with it. Some artists prefer oil, some artists prefer acrylic. It depends on your taste.
All right.
If you're using poster paint, you can use the paint straight from the little container, but try not to contaminate it by dipping the brush into different containers at the same time.
Okay.
So if you dip it in the container, you must clean the brush before you go to another container.
Okay, that is what I'm using, poster paint.
All right. So now with the same brush that I used to apply the blue, I'm going to go to my red. And I am going to quickly just make a transition.
A different brush. Red.
Or the same brush, you can use the same brush.
Okay.
Okay. I'm making a transition of the blue into the red.
Okay,
now,
so Bella, you were good to use the red. You are doing a wonderful job then, Bells. Red up.
Add a little bit to the blue. Now, please note when you add your blue, when the blue come against the red, you get a different color. Are you seeing that?
Yes, sir.
Right, you should be getting purple.
Yes.
So what we are doing here is that we are moving from cool to warm, right?
Okay.
So we are moving from a cooler sky to a warmer sky.
Okay. Come on now, Bells. Use the red. Yes.
Right? Spreading the red here. So right in between where the red meets the blue, you should have a purple looking color right here to show transition.
Yes, Bells. Use the red.
All right, please note, I am about 3/4 of the canvas now, and about halfway down almost. All right, so the next color I'm going to add, washing out my brush a little bit now, I don't want to contaminate the color too much.
Show the brush. Wait,
I'm going to go now to my yellow.
Yellow now, Bells. Yellow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I'm going to add this yellow over to the right-hand side of the canvas.
Oh my God. I did something.
Or your paper, or whatever it is you're working on.
Bella, on the right-hand side. Right-hand side. You know, I'm not going to win this prize because of you, you know.
All right, note with the yellow, I try to apply the yellow first without mixing it with the red yet, because I don't want the yellow to be too dirty, or I don't want the yellow to change too much. So now that I apply the yellow, I am going to make a transition between the red and the yellow. So I'm going to combine them right here in the middle where they meet.
What are you combining them with? Yellow still?
Could you repeat that question?
What are you combining them with? The yellow?
Yes, the yellow we are using, your primary yellow.
Okay.
Same yellow. So I had a little bit more to my palette. And now I am just going right in that space between the red and the yellow. By now, you should be getting a color looking like orange, because your red and your yellow gives you orange, right? So notice I am using my brush fluidly, and I'm going horizontal across because I want it to have that transition and sky feel look effect. All right, so I'm going horizontally across, making big strokes. Please do not be timid. You're not at the point yet where you are putting in details. We're just putting in background.
Bella, no more because it's quite my painting.
So at this point, you should just be applying your paint freely.
Freely.
All right? Freely. So as you can see now, we are moving from a cool sky and it's transitioning to a warm sky to the right. All right, now we want to bring this down a little bit more. Let's say about halfway the canvas. I'm going to use more yellow coming down. So let me add some more yellow to my palette. All right. My canvas is a little big, so I have to be working a little bit fast here. All right, here we go. Okay, let me add some water to stretch this yellow a little bit. Remember that your water can be used as a vehicle to carry your paint across the substrate that you're painting on. All right, one other thing I should add, note I am going a little bit diagonal now. All right, I'm going a little bit diagonal because this part of the canvas, the right hand side of it is going to be where your sunset is going to be. So I'm going a little bit diagonal here with my yellow. All right, good, wonderful. I hope that you're following and you are having something like this by now. All right, so this paint is still a little wet, so we want to go back into it, and I'm going to add some clouds into it before it dries. So I'm washing out my brush with my water here. I'm going to go to my white now. Going to my white, pure white. And I'm going to start now by adding some swirls from the left-hand side of the canvas.
Okay.
I'm going to make some swirls here just to give you that cloud effect. So you want to keep this light and feathery. You don't want to dab it too much. You want the paint to mix a little bit with the, you want the white to mix a little bit with the color that is already there.
Okay.
So don't mind if you're seeing it mixing a little bit.
Yes.
The clouds are not totally white.
Yes.
They reflect colors that are there. They reflect from the sun and they reflect other things. All right. I'm coming right across that screen, that canvas, cutting that yellow that I have there, and cutting also that brown that I just put.
Cut it.
Yes, you're drawing a line, so you want it to be cutting right underneath that brown that you have there. You don't want to see any white spaces in between.
Oh, you're cutting it.
Yes.
Hi, Tamara, and welcome to the fellow Kiwanians, the distinguished Kiwanians and visitors, guests who arrived after.
Thank you so much. Over here sipping my tea.
Oh, you're doing tea as well. Are you painting as well?
Yes, painting away.
I hope you get a prize.
Thanks for the welcome, Mrs. Grant. I'm sipping my Guinness juice.
Come on now.
Georgia Dodge St. Anne.
Georgia, you're doing Guinness juice. Excellent.
Georgia, send a bottle for me. Georgia, send a bottle for me.
Will do, sir.
My bottle have to come first before Sir or is war.
And I don't want to war. I don't want to war with my sweet lady, you know. No,
President Amelia, you have any more unusual requests to ask them to name something that is on your list for them to get a prize?
President Stephanie, I'm so lost in the painting right now.
Do you have a prize for the worst painter?
Oh, come on now. Now you're talking, DP Jennifer. Now you're talking.
yes.
One for the worst and one for the best. We put them in categories, you know, because we have two categories of painters here. The first painters, the first timers. Let me not use that word. The first timers and those who have tried the painting before. DP Jennifer, you look like you're professional, you know. Don't joke with me, you know.
No man, may I work with the worst one. I don't have a paintbrush, you know, so I'm using a fork.
Oh, you go ahead. You want the prize. DP Layton, I need to hear what you're drinking. You know, you just showed us.
Come on, I showed it to you. I texted it in the chat.
Okay, it's in the chat. Can one of the co-hosts tell us what DP Layton is drinking? Vicky Mamona, Secretary Simone. Can you tell us?
Polar black cherry. What? We can't even call those words.
Can't pronounce.
Words that look expensive.
My gosh. Come on now, DP Layton. You're not playing with us, right?
Of course I am. I'm playing.
All right, so while you're enjoying yourself, if you notice, I'm making a transition of the blue. So after you put that ultramarine blue coming across here, I am transitioning the blue into a variety of blues coming down out to the shore.
Well
so I mix a little of the dark blue with some yellow, and that is going to change to a green, you know, but you don't want it to be too green. You want it to be a little bit murky.
Wow.
And then I add some what we call turquoise blue, right? You can still get turquoise by mixing your yellow and your blue and just add a little white to it. And you get a turquoise color there.
Okay, yellow and blue and the white to get the turquoise. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just adding some more paint here to my palette. You know, it's running out. So yeah, just adding a little bit more yellow to my blue here, and a little touch of white, just to get that turquoise looking color right there.
I want to see.
As the water comes closer to the shore, it changes.
I am born to win for the worst painter.
And as you come closer to the shore, you want to add more white to your turquoise. So with the same brush, I didn't wash out my brush, I just put some more white on my palette, and I just mix that in, and I'm adding more white as I comes down to the shore.
Wow. My. P.E. Ramona, how does your painting look? Talk to us.
Anybody want to share
their... badly at all?
Okay.
Want to share their painting?
Yes, show and tell now. Anybody wants to show so far? I want to wait until the finish. You're finished. Come on now. Let the puss out of the bag. Let us see what you have so far.
Show yours, no, Madam President.
If I show you, man, you will cry. Just wait until the product is finished.
You lead by example, girl.
Chairman Candice.
Excuse me, sir. What do you mix to get the turquoise again? I'm not getting it.
What was that question?
The turquoise, I'm not getting it at all.
Not getting the turquoise?
No.
Your primary blue with a little yellow and some white. It might not be, you might not get the same turquoise like what you see I get here, but it depends on the paint that you're working with.
Okay.
But as long as you're getting a different blue coming down and a lighter blue, then that's okay.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Question?
If I didn't have any blue, my blue is finished. Could I add the white to the green and get the turquoise?
Or you're breaking a little. You said something about blue. If you didn't,
no, I'm saying if my blue was finished, could I add the white to a little green and get the turquoise?
You wouldn't get the turquoise. What you would get is a tint of the green, but it can still use. It can still
because the blue and because the green and the blue and the yellow would have given me the green, but I didn't have blue. That's why I said add the white to the green.
Yeah, you can still work with that for now.
Okay.
All right. All right, so by now, we should be having something looking like this.
Okay.
Having your sky and your mountain tapering off there, and your water transitioning coming down to the shore here. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I am going to go into my brown, a lighter brown. Remember, if you don't have brown, you can always mix your red and your yellow with a little touch of blue or green. And if you want that brown to be lighter, this brown that I'm using is called raw sienna. But if you, as I said, you can use your red, your yellow with a little blue. And if you want it to get light, because that brown might be a little bit dark, you just add a little white to it. Because I don't want to use a strong brown. I'm not using a strong brown here. I'm going to be putting in something that looks like the shore or some sand. So right where that water, where at the edge of that turquoise, where that turquoise stop, I'm going to just wash in this light brown right down at the bottom of the canvas here.
Chairman Candice, how is your painting coming on?
Yeah, there is no thing.
Chairman Candice, how is your painting coming on?
Okay, so by now, your canvas should be completely covered, or your cartridge paper, or your artboard, or whatever it is you're working on. Right, you should be seeing a complete cover of your substrate by now.
While you're painting, can we have some testimonies? How are you feeling?
And questions?
Either testimonies or questions, feel them now. Or make them
feeling distressed.
Distress. Oh, it's a distressing moment for you. Amen.
That's good. Okay, so I'm going back to my white now, my pure white. Going back to my pure white. So right where that water or turquoise meets the brown, I'm going to apply my white there to give the feeling of the wave rolling in onto the shore. So how am I going to do that? I'm applying the paint. Make sure that you have substance on the paint on your brush, sorry. And you're just going to right at that line. You're going to make some wavy line, feathering the top part of that white as you go, because you don't want it to dry on you. But the bottom part of the white, you try to keep the line relatively sharp. Notice I'm rolling my brush. Because what we are trying to achieve here is the effect of the wave rolling in onto the shore. Do not plaster it. You want to break it as you go. Apply it thick in some cases, drag it in some cases. Give it character.
Oh, this is really distressing for you. Come on now.
Yes. All right. So you should have something looking like some wave rolling in on the shore right here. All right, now remember that when the waves are rolling in, they don't normally roll in one. So I'm going to apply another line, wavy line coming across just above the first one that I just did. As I said, remember you don't want to dab it, just keep your brush light and feathery and just drag it along that surface, roll it, and let the paint deposit on the canvas as you go.
I want to give a shout out to SLP Gabriel Daly of Eltham High. Hi, Gabriel. And the others who are online. So Secretary Simone can help me identify the others. Hi, Gabriel Daly, SLP, Eltham High Key Clover. How are you? She's a bit shy, but no worries. We're big yo. So Secretary Simone or President Amelia can give a shout out to the other SLPs who are here. I just glanced Gabriel.
All right, so here we go. If you notice, I'm putting my canvas close to the screen for you to see the detail of that work. All right, so what I'm going to do now, under that wave that is rolling into the screen, on the shore, and that wave that is rolling onto the shore, I'm going to use a fine brush, or we call a detail brush, and I'm just going to add some brown right under that wave. Just keep it very delicate. As I said, do not dab it. You just want to drag your brush, roll your brush as you go. You want a nice thin line right under that wave as it rolls onto the shore. Gives it, what is happening here is what we call shadow. All right, so notice I break it and give it character as it goes along. Going back to my big brush, and I'm going to go back to my dark blue. Go back to my dark blue with a little of my turquoise color. Now remember, you can just mix your blue with your yellow and your white to get a little turquoise color. And I'm going to make some little dark lines in the sea. These lines that I am making, they are going to give you the impression of some waves breaking there. Notice I'll turn my brush this way. You don't want to turn your brush this way. Turn it long way. Right.
What are we using? What color are we using to give it that effect?
We're using blue. You can use your dark blue, your regular primary blue, with some of the turquoise color that you had mixed before. If not, you just go back and mix some turquoise color, as you don't want it to be too dark like the horizontal blue.
Okay. While you're painting, some teachers and some other members, they want to come on, but they're having connectivity issue.
Oh.
Some person like Itina Williams and some club members from the Portmore area. But we're happy that we and some persons have been dropping. We had over 30, so you might see some other persons coming on back. Internet connectivity issues.
All right, so on top of these lines that I just put in when I said to use your blue or your turquoise, I'm going to go back to my white, pure white. I just wash out my brush. And on top of these wavy looking broken lines that I just put there, I'm going to go back with my white and just make a little gentle touch on top of these and just probably drag it down a little bit. You want to give that effect of waves rolling in. You don't want to do it too much because when things goes away from you, they get smaller. And when they come closer to you, they get a little bigger. So the ones that are going away from you, just want to make just some little fine touch, so to speak.
With the white.
Right, with the white.
Well.
Okay. So, as I said, this is preliminary, but by now you should have something looking like a sea with some gentle waves rolling in on that shore. You should have something looking like that.
Well, that is perfect.
Right. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to start to put in some of the reflection of the sun. Because you know the sun is here, right here, and it's going to reflect on the water. So going back to my pure white again, right at that horizon where that dark blue meets the sky, or the yellow, I'm just going to make a thin line right there.
What color is that?
White, it's white, pure white.
Okay.
Just make a thin line, try to make it as thin and feathery as you can. Remember now that is out on the horizon. So you don't want any thick line out there. You want that line to be thin and feathery. So as you come down the canvas now, you're going to keep those lines, keep them horizontal. Because it's kind of a little dark there. All right. Mine is still a little bit too red, so I'm going to add some more blue to it. All right, time is going. So let me use this. All right, so we're going to start on order by just making some, we'll come a little closer. Just making some daub right here with this color. Notice I'm not putting it in any definite form, just like you're just making some daub there, but extending it up towards the sea, extending it up towards the sea. Just making some daub there.
What color is that?
It's your red, regular red with your blue.
Red and blue. And what is that called? Darbs?
Yes, I just call it daub. You just like your dotting really.
Okay.
Because you want, remember you're trying to give the effect of a plant right now. All right, so now that you have that, I'm going to wash up my brush here, and I am going to go back to my brown, using a smaller brush now, using what is called a detail brush. And my brown, maybe with a little white in it, and a little yellow, because we're going to be making something like a star or stem. All right, so where you have those daubs, you're just going to try and connect them with something that looks like a stem. So I just drag in that brush drawing it along the surface, giving it character, rolling it as it moves. And
Same color?
No. You're using brown now, brown. Extending it, notice I'm coming a little bit above where the dog is. And I have made several, about 3 or 4 of them branching out. We are trying to create the effect of stems here. So you should have something looking like that. Yep. We're going to go back now to my bigger brush, and we are going to mix a green color. Now remember to get your green. If you don't have any ready-made one, we're just going to use some blue with some yellow. Try to keep it 50-50. And then now we are going to start to apply, next to those dots that we put down there, we're going to apply that green. We're not going to kill all of that dark that we have there, just making little touches beside them or above them. Now you're trying to give the impression more now like leaves. This is more of an impressionist approach because you're putting paint next to paint. Should be looking something like that. For the final thing now, for the same color that you have, you're just going to go back to your yellow, put more yellow. Now, in that same color, we are moving to a lighter color now, what we call highlight. So if you notice, we put a dark color first, then we mix the green, then we are going to a lighter color now. So we're adding your yellow to that same color, and then you can add some white to it as well. And you're going to make touches again right on top of that green that you had put there before. You can twist and turn your brushes to get that effect of leaves and to give it character. Don't be afraid to put down that color. Make your painting interesting. Brush strokes help with painting as well. You don't have to smooth out anything here. So right in that right-hand corner, you should have that looking there, looking like that plant that you normally see on the seaside. All right, so we are getting close to the end. We're wrapping up. All right, so I'm just going to go back to my brown now. You have your brown on your palette already. A little darker brown than the sun, color brown. And I'm going to mix that color and I'm going to apply it just under the wave here. I want to give the impression of a wet sun. I know the lighting might not be so good, so trying to hold it up here as much so that you can see. Notice, as I put it under that wave, I also break the end of it, give it some up and down effect, because it's not going to be uniform, that wet sun. So this is the area that the wave just rolls all over. All right. So here we go. We're at that stage where the painting basically needs now just detailing. So, Madam Host, I think we can stop here. And fellow audience, I do encourage you to go and continue on with your painting, because as I said before, this is like a crash course. We're rushing. You can go back and you can put more details in your clouds. You can put more details in your coconut trees. You can emphasize your water some more, get your horizon lines straighter, put more highlights on your plants, detail that wet sun area. But there's so much more that you can do. But I think we have come a far way this evening. And yes, I do hope that you have fun. And as I said before, it's already passed. I really enjoyed this. And I am privileged that I was asked to present for you this evening. Over to you, Madam Host.